In 1963, one of the most powerful men in America was humiliated. Not by a competitor, not by the government, by a man who made sports cars in a small town in Italy. His name was Henry Ford II, and what Enzo Ferrari did to him that day didn't just wound his pride, it ignited a war that would change motorsport forever. This is the story of how a car manufacturer spent tens of millions of dollars, not to make money, but to destroy one man's legacy on the most dangerous racetrack in the world. In the early 1960s, Ferrari was struggling. The company was legendary and nearly broke. Enzo Ferrari had built something extraordinary, cars that won races, cars that made grown men weep. But the business was failing. Ford saw an opportunity. The American giant wanted to buy Ferrari, not just for the cars. Ford wanted to win at Le Mans, the 24 Hours of Le Mans, the greatest endurance race in the world. Negotiations began. Ford sent a team to Maranello. The deal was nearly done, millions of dollars on the table. Then, at the last moment, Enzo Ferrari walked away. The reason? Ford wanted control over Ferrari's racing program, and Enzo Ferrari would never, not for any amount of money, hand that over to anyone. He sent the Ford delegation home empty-handed. Henry Ford II was furious. According to those who were in the room that day, he said words that cannot be repeated here. Then he made a decision that would define the next 3 years. He would build a car designed specifically to go to Le Mans, and he would beat Ferrari not once, but every single year until Ferrari was broken. Ford poured money into the project. The budget was unprecedented. Engineers were hired from across America and Europe. The mission was simple: build the fastest endurance racing car in the world. The car became known as the Ford GT40. Named for its height, just 40 inches tall, low, ferocious, and impossibly fast. It looked like something that had arrived from another era. But the first years were a disaster. In 1964, every GT40 retired from Le Mans. In 1965, they retired again. Ferrari won, and the embarrassment inside Ford grew darker with every passing month. Ford needed help. So they turned to a man who had already beaten Ferrari before, a chicken farmer from Texas who had become one of the greatest racing minds in history, Carroll Shelby. Shelby brought with him a British driver named Ken Miles, brilliant, difficult, and fearless. Miles cared nothing for corporate politics. He was interested in one thing only: going faster than any human being had gone before. Together, Shelby and Miles rebuilt the GT40 from the inside out. The new car, the Mark II, was more powerful, more reliable, and more savage than anything Ford had ever built before. Testing was brutal. Miles pushed the car beyond its limits every single day. There were moments when the entire project seemed on the verge of collapse, but something extraordinary was beginning to shake up. A machine capable of sustaining over 200 miles per hour for 24 hours straight. No car like it had ever existed. It was built for one purpose: to end Ferrari's reign at Le Mans forever. June 1966, the Circuit de la Sarthe, Le Mans. 24 hours of racing through darkness, through rain, at speeds that would simply kill most drivers before they had time to react. Ford arrived with 8 GT40 Mark IIs. Ferrari arrived with their proven machines. The paddock felt different that year. This was not just a race, it was a battle between two civilizations. When the flag dropped, the GT40s surged. Their 7-liter V8 engines shook the ground. The sound was something audiences had never heard before, a deep, violent thunder rolling across the French countryside. For hours, the race was savage. Cars pushed to the absolute edge, drivers sleeping in shifts, mechanics working in furious silence, team managers watching timing screens with cold sweat on their hands.
Ferrari fought back. Their cars were elegant, experienced, and fast. But this time, the red machines could not hold. One by one, the Ferraris began to slow, then to stop. By the final hours, something impossible was happening. 3 Ford GT40s were running first, second, and third. Ford was on the verge of achieving something that had never been done in Le Mans history. But then came the moment that broke the heart of one man. With the finish line in sight, Ford management made a decision. For the cameras, for the perfect publicity image, they wanted all 3 cars to cross the line together, side by side. They ordered Ken Miles, who had been leading the race and driven the most extraordinary performance of his career, to slow down and allow the other cars to close the gap. Miles agreed. He had pushed for 24 hours without a single mistake, and in the final stretch, with victory already in his hands, he lifted off the throttle. He did what he was told. What followed was a controversy that still burns 50 years later. Due to race starting regulations, the car that crossed alongside Miles was declared the official winner. Ken Miles finished second. The man who had done more than any other driver to put Ford on top of Le Mans never stood on the top step of the podium. Ford went on to win Le Mans again in 1967. The GT40 became one of the most iconic racing machines in history, a symbol of what ambition and rage can build. Carroll Shelby became a legend, a name every motorsport fan would carry for generations. Ken Miles died just 3 months after Le Mans, testing another car at Riverside Raceway. He never got his moment. Enzo Ferrari watched. He never forgot. The rivalry between Ford and Ferrari would shape the entire future of motorsport, producing technology, drama, and stories that echo through every decade that followed. But perhaps the most powerful truth about Le Mans 1966 is not the victory. It is what that victory cost, what it demanded from the men who built it, and the question it leaves behind, unanswered. Was it worth it? For Henry Ford II, yes, he stood on that podium and humiliated Ferrari on the world stage. He proved what American industrial power could do when it had something to prove. For Ken Miles, no one knows. He never had the chance to answer that question. But the GT40 endures, in museums, in films, in the memory of everyone who has ever stood beside one and felt something shift inside their chest. Because it is not just a car, it is proof that the most powerful engine in motorsport is not made of steel or aluminum. It is made of pride, of fury, of the unbearable need to win. This was Le Mans 1966, and nothing was ever the same again.